Oh my God.
So I'm like, man, I'll take you in the back and make you cry, like make you scream, dude. Like, what are you talking about? But if I make it, we even. So I'm like, oh, all right. So I shoot, I make it, boom. He shot, he missed, bam. I said, so you got me 100? And he was like, bet. I'm like, all right. So I shot, I make it. He shot, he make it. So I'm like, you still owe me 100?
Yeah.
And so he like, no, we even. I'm like, I start laughing. I'm like, dude, you owe me.
Today we're diving straight into fireworks. Crawford opens with swagger, but the tone quickly sharpens into something personal. He pivots from confidence to confrontation, aiming directly at Floyd Mayweather. The Canelo victory becomes more than a win, it becomes leverage. Crawford frames Floyd as someone hovering around greatness instead of creating it. That accusation hits deep in a sport built on legacy. This isn't playful banter, it's generational tension. The new era is demanding acknowledgement. And Crawford sounds ready to take it by force.
Tony presented himself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because
Now the drama thickens. Mayweather stays silent before the fight, then posts the betting slip after Crawford wins. It feels strategic, almost opportunistic. Crawford sees it as clout attachment rather than genuine support. The subtext here is powerful: who really owns the spotlight? Floyd represents perfected promotion, Crawford represents earned dominance. This moment becomes about authenticity versus theatrics. Neither man says everything outright, but the implications are loud. Respect in boxing is currency, and right now, it's being contested.
And this dude just come over there and like bet 100. I'm like, what? He like bet 100. Bet 100 on what? He like shot for shot, bet 100. So I'm like, so I make it, you give me a
Play the part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
What do you want to see?
Now things explode into crossover territory. Ilia Topuria throws out a knockout claim with absolute confidence. That kind of boldness instantly raises stakes. Add the walkout song controversy, and it feels personal, not promotional. Suddenly this isn't just athlete versus athlete, it's MMA pride challenging boxing royalty. Topuria speaks with the certainty of a champion defending his domain. Crawford's name becomes a target, not just a headline. The tension shifts from generational to intersport warfare. And fans from both sides are locking in.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
you think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
Ilia Topuria could knock out Bud Crawford on first contact. Is there any truth to it? Why is it always the MMA guys gotta go box? It doesn't sell. James Toney and the UFC lost a whole bunch of money with him. If Ilia Topuria really could beat up Terence Crawford, why didn't he go into boxing? Ilia is our champion. After seeing Conor, who could not make an amateur Olympic team.
Here we slow down and examine the craft. Crawford's southpaw stance wasn't cosmetic, it was calculated disruption. He neutralized Canelo's rhythm and removed his strongest weapons. That level of ring IQ separates champions from legends. This wasn't brute force, it was mental domination. Every feint, every angle carried purpose. While outside voices debate fantasy fights, this breakdown reminds us of reality. Crawford's skill set is layered and adaptable. And that technical mastery makes any challenge far more complicated than talk suggests.
When I looked at it, he came out in the southpaw stance and he took Canelo's jab away from him. As you know, if you take a fighter's jab away from them, then it's hard for them to really land. You force them to use one shot, and he forced them to use his backhand, his rear hand. Crawford was ready for the loop in the right hands. Crawford was ready for the body shots.
Carried the song out and performed tonight. I got Mexicans and Latinos on my side as well, so.
Did you know Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC?
You said what?
Ilia Topuria walks out to that song in the UFC.
Did he? Oh, good for him.
Crawford's tone hardens here. He labels Topuria a clout chaser and questions the authenticity of the callout. In his eyes, social media bravado doesn't equal serious intent. If the challenge was real, it should have happened face to face. That statement carries old school fighter code energy. Respect is earned in person, not tweeted. By dismissing Ilia publicly, Crawford attempts to control the narrative. But dismissal can sometimes ignite bigger reactions. And this rivalry just gained emotional weight.
Stated, I don't know who he is. Ilia's mad. It works every time, and Ilia went crazy. Ilia's just, you don't know who I met you at this. When Ilia responds with truth, when he brings the receipts and the facts, that's what you do when you're angry.
This is where business logic enters the ring. Crawford rejects comparisons to Conor McGregor outright. He demands numbers, visibility, star gravity. In boxing, spectacle sells, but only when both names carry weight. Without McGregor-level fame, Crawford sees limited upside. It's not about fear, it's about value. Legacy fights must add something meaningful. Otherwise, they're distractions. Bud makes it clear he's calculating risk versus reward. And right now, the math doesn't convince him.
On a bit, he's like, who the f*** is that guy? He's not on my level. He's not on Conor McGregor's level. What the hell is going on? I mean, come on, let's be honest. Jake Paul's fighting Gervonta Davis. If that can happen, or him fighting Mike Tyson, if there's a world that we live in where that can go down and get watched by millions of people on Netflix.
Topuria fires back with intensity. He insists Crawford knew exactly who he was before all this noise. That accusation flips the narrative. Now it's about honesty. His warning about Crawford's chin adds fuel. Confidence radiates from Ilia, but so does pride. He's defending more than himself, he's defending MMA credibility. The tone feels sharper, less promotional. When fighters question each other's truthfulness, it escalates fast. The rivalry moves from theoretical to emotional. And emotions drive super fights.
Conor was always willing to risk it. Ilia, I believe, is willing to risk it. Ilia versus Crawford. Am I wasting my time talking to you guys about that? Maybe not. There's not yet something here, but there's not nothing here either.
Shakur Stevenson introduces a bold perspective. He suggests Crawford could compete, even thrive, in the UFC. That statement shifts the power dynamic. Instead of boxer versus cage specialist, it becomes athlete versus athlete. Crawford's wrestling background suddenly matters. Versatility becomes part of the argument. If Bud can adapt beyond the ring, the narrative flips entirely. This isn't just about punching anymore. It's about overall combat IQ. And that idea sparks curiosity.
Leave Bud alone. I think Bud Crawford is just different. In a boxing ring with him, bro, you're not gonna last more than one round, I don't think. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets in the UFC and beat the out of some guys too, because he got a great
Daniel Cormier grounds the conversation in realism. He explains that McGregor versus Mayweather was lightning in a bottle. It wasn't just skill, it was charisma, spectacle, timing. Topuria, while dangerous, hasn't reached that cultural level. DC's perspective adds promotional context. Super fights require massive gravitational pull. Without it, the event feels smaller than intended. He's not dismissing talent, he's evaluating scale. And scale determines profitability. That's the cold truth of crossover dreams.
It was a great show today. I was curious about your entrance, how you came to choose that song in particular to walk out to.
Well, you know, it was part of my outfit. The outfit was inspired by the movie Desperado. As you see, I had the guitar and everything, and my great childhood friend, Rosendo Robles, he was the one that, you know, carried the song out.
Terence Crawford had the goddamn audacity to walk out to Ilia Topuria's walkout song. I mean, what on earth is going on? How dare he? That is Ilia Topuria's song, okay? Ilia Topuria took exception to this in a very big way, and now these two are going back and forth. They are talking shit, and Crawford ain't...
Crawford's "he must have been drinking" comment adds sarcasm to the tension. It's a subtle but effective way to undermine credibility. Instead of arguing technically, he minimizes the threat. That tactic keeps him positioned above the chaos. He reiterates that he brings more eyes than anyone involved. Stardom becomes part of the debate again. The message is clear, relevance matters. Crawford believes he controls the spotlight. And he's not ready to share it casually.
Hear that from someone like him.
I just was like, well, you know, it's his personal opinion. He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, you know, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. You know, one where he felt like he was at the best.
Michael Chiesa analyzes the formula behind crossover events. He points out that history doesn't easily repeat. Mayweather versus McGregor had unique chemistry. Trying to replicate that blueprint risks diminishing returns. Chiesa respects Crawford's skill edge in boxing. But commercially, the equation isn't identical. Without overwhelming star parity, the hype ceiling lowers. It's not about ability, it's about magnitude. And magnitude defines pay-per-view history.
Ilia Topuria says that if you guys ever boxed, he would knock you out based on the first punch.
That dude drunk, you know. Hey, you know, a lot of MMA guys, they drink a lot, so he must been on that alcohol that day.
Now the business executive layer enters through Dana White. Crossovers can be lucrative, but timing is everything. The walkout music moment becomes symbolic marketing fuel. Even accidental controversy drives clicks. Both promotions understand the power of narrative tension. But coordination is complex. Pride, contracts, and egos complicate negotiations. This isn't just sport, it's strategic entertainment. And every word exchanged publicly increases leverage. The machine is watching.
My money on anybody who mother used to go outside and pay kids money to beat her son up. I'm paying y'all real cash money to beat my son, and nobody got the money. I'm like, wait, I'm betting on that guy.
You betting on that guy?
Michael Bisping takes a legacy-first stance. He warns Crawford against unnecessary risk. At 37 and undefeated, greatness is already secured. A spectacle fight could jeopardize that narrative. Money fades, records remain. Bisping sees no need to gamble with history. It's a mature perspective in a hype-driven world. Sometimes restraint defines champions. The biggest flex might be saying no. And that's a powerful counterpoint to all the noise.
Star UFC Ilia Topuria and fight with the number one boxer right now. If you can do that, why not do that?
We did see Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua.
And you think Topuria can fight with him?
I don't. You asked me straight up, I do not think so, because Crawford is not going to enter a fight.
Now the competitive debate intensifies. Could Topuria survive 12 boxing rounds? Could Crawford survive MMA grappling exchanges? Under boxing rules, Bud likely controls distance. Under UFC rules, unpredictability increases. Each domain favors its specialist. That uncertainty fuels imagination. Fans love what-if scenarios. Skill sets collide differently depending on environment. It becomes less about trash talk and more about adaptability. And adaptability often decides greatness.
I've seen this guy fight, and I watch a lot of MMA.
Hey, guys, Bud is saying it ain't worth his time, but Ilia Topuria in this right now, guys, is winning. He's winning because he has them talking about him. And every time, Terence Crawford speaks Ilia's name, Ilia wins. That's another step closer to getting.
Chael Sonnen closes with perspective on risk and fearlessness. He compares Topuria's boldness to early McGregor energy. Sometimes audacity creates opportunity. Even unrealistic challenges can manifest through pressure. The willingness to gamble defines disruptors. Whether this fight happens or not, the narrative has traction. And traction drives conversation. If you enjoyed this full breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.